Welcome to the Twyla Zone podcast, a space where we explore the depths of empowerment, resilience, and transformation. I'm your host, Twyla Garrett, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey with you. So whether you're seeking inspiration, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, welcome to the Twyla Zone podcast, where empowerment meets transformation, and every story has the potential to ignite change. Let's embark on this journey together. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Everybody, this is Twyla Garrett with the Twyla Zone. Today, I have one of my goddaughters, but also a fabulous Gen Z that is going to really school Twyla on what Gen Z is. She's laughing now, but she knows I asked probably 50 questions and I got a whole bunch of questions to ask. This is actually for those who do not understand the gap between my generation, I'm 53, and her generation, she's 20. So our goal today is to talk about some questions that I think a lot of people are asking. I know I am curious and I want to be respectful of how to greet and talk and what things mean. And I'm a little confused sometimes. So I've asked Nina Turner. She is the daughter of Melissa Turner, my right hand. Melissa's my COO and been with me for over 20 years. And I'm so excited to have Nina here. When I met Nina, she was an infant, probably 6 months old. And now look at this beautiful, gorgeous lady who is a graduate and heading off to another school to finish and think about what her next future is going to be. We're going to talk about that today. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Nina Turner. Nina, say hello to the crew. Hello to the gang at the Twyla podcast.
Hi, how are you? Your name is Nina, as you know. Yeah, I'm usually I'm Virgo. I don't know if you know about Zodiac, so I'm a Virgo.
Okay, we'll see you. I'm an Aquarius. All right, so Nina, today we're talking about Gen Z, right? And this is probably going to help me, your mom, and everything else because, you know, your brother's a Gen Z too, right? Okay, so let's start with what is a Gen Z? You know, how do you guys identify yourselves more so than you look at your mom or you look at your friends who might be maybe 10 years older than you? How do you identify?
Yeah, I identify as a person, and my pronouns are she, her. I identify as a woman. I'm not trans or anything. Yeah, I feel like that. That's how I do.
Okay. So when I was growing up, we didn't have to, I think we just identified naturally, right? It was her, him, us, them. But with your generation, it's a little different, right? Or when did it happen in your generation? What grade were you in when you guys realized identity was really prevalent and you also needed to make sure that you guys got it right? When was that for you?
When I got to like probably eighth and ninth grade around that time, I feel like that's when it got more apparent. People were being more like, oh, I identify as this, or I don't have a pronoun, I was there. And then I feel like that's when it became more, well, people probably started hitting like 14, like actually hitting the teenage stage, finally grasping how they are as a person, being able to identify and actually able to kind of have more of a voice from one younger. Like around that time, like right beginning of high school and the 8th grade year.
Okay. So in high school, that was probably the most, you know, obvious, you said, prevalent that you heard more of the pronouns come out.
Yeah.
All right. So what makes the Gen Z so special? Tell me about your generation. How would you, you know, rate your generation amongst other generations?
I feel like compared to a lot of other generations, we are very accepting. I feel like we try to see not even just the better side, because I feel like a lot of times we point out the negative side more, but I feel like we try to be more accepting and accept everyone for who they are and how they are as themselves. Just make open arms, more so opening people with open arms and being more so, like, just being accepting and understanding how everyone wants to be, letting people do what they want or defend people. You know, we're very, especially like with LGBTQ, I feel like that's a very big thing in my generation. Like, people are very strong-minded about it, and they have a lot to say. I feel like they stand up for what they believe in, stand for what they want. They don't take no for an answer. Obviously, a lot of the stuff we allow, I feel like, even I feel like in the future, it's probably like now there's just like people are everything's online, basically. Everyone can be an entrepreneur. People aren't even really going to school. They're just getting like certificates and stuff. They're just trying to build something for themselves. Like people, I feel like my generation is finally showing people that you don't need to do what you're told to do. You can do what you want to do, what fits you, to make you happy in life, because what's good for you is what's good for you. Like whatever is good for, I feel like whatever is good for my generation will make that person happy. Leave that to them. Like, yeah, you might have something to say, but at the end of the day, they're knowing it and they're loving it. And that's nothing we can stop it. It's just be accepting of it and love them for who they are.
No, I love when you say that. And I think what I found is your generation is less judgmental, right? They really don't judge because they're cool with everybody, or they at least seem to be somewhat cool with everybody. Where in my generation, it was a little different, right? You separated those who weren't as smart as the others, those who, you had the classes, whether you were poor or rich. I fell into the poor class, but, I think what I love about your generation is the fact that you are right. They do accept and they go get it. You just mentioned something I think that's very clean, and I want to talk about that more. You don't necessarily need a college degree to really do your thing. There's people that are in 8th grade that are using the internet and becoming millionaires, right?
Yeah.
Well, but keep in mind, though, one of the things I want to talk about is what happens when the internet might let you go. The one thing about this newer generation is the cancel culture, right? So you guys are very, very forgiving. Not forgiving, but you're not judgmental, but you're quick to cancel. So tell me a little bit about cancel culture and how that plays into the fact that last 2 years, you've seen major stars, major people who just messed up and might have did one thing that just was stupid, right? They don't get the pass anymore for certain generations. Why is that?
It's a cancel culture. I really feel like is if you feed into it. Like there's plenty of, because I know linear stars too that have been just over time. People be like, oh, they're canceled. I thought we've been canceled. And it's like, y'all did. But that's what I was about to say. Anything on the internet, listening to me, I feel like anything on the internet, whether it's good or bad, it's attention. And that's all you need. That's all you need for a platform is attention. If you have bad attention, that's still getting views. You're still getting a comment. Them leaving a comment, sending it out, letting more people know that they don't like what you're doing, you're getting attention. Whether it's you're good or bad, you're always going to have that attention. Like before Langs, people don't like him, but there's also that big group of people who do. Because some people just like to disagree. Some people strongly think, so I don't think sometimes some people just like to go against, like,
the grain.
Like, just go against the grain. Like, they just want to go against what other people believe in. And I feel like that's just what it is. Like, you can cancel really just has to do with you as a person. Because if you don't believe you're canceled or like you acknowledge it, but you don't allow yourself to get canceled, it's not going to work because you're always going to be getting someone's hit. Like, Krishan too. People don't like Krishan for real. Everything you see of her is negative. You still see her with concerts. You still her making money. People are paying her to do promo and all this other stuff. Because at the end of the day, attention is attention. It doesn't matter whether it's from a good or bad person. You're getting attention, and that's all it is. And if a person said they like it, everybody else is gonna like it. That's all it is. It takes one. It could be one bad person at a time. If one bad person promotes you, it don't even matter. Just because they promoted you and they have that big limelight, you're there. Even I saw when people be mad, like, when they be like, we can do service for service. Oh, you can do my lace front, now I'll just shout you out. People like, you still need to pay me. But realistically, now you have thousands of more people in your DMs, thousands of people trying to follow you, looking at your hair stuff because someone, I feel like that. I feel like any attention is like good at like any attention on social media because you're getting attention. And that's what people love.
That makes sense. So to me, it's about advertising, right? So it really is the attention that you're seeking. How do you feel about TikTok being possibly canceled? How would that affect you?
I'm really on TikTok. You love
it?
I love TikTok. I feel like TikTok is like, it is like a safe space for a lot of people. Like, I just go on there just for like, I was nervous around people I don't know. TikTok, TikTok is always,
I don't have a TikTok account yet, Nina, so I don't know what I'm missing, but I know there's a lot of people that are mad, right? And now I do understand being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. I heard there's a lot of people, millions of people that's on the platform, so they can lose millions of dollars if that platform goes away. But I'm also thinking if they're on TikTok, they're actually on the gram, they're actually on Facebook, they should be selling on multiple angles. But I also know the security. Having been in Homeland Security and done Homeland Security, I do understand the security implications. Tell me what you think TikTok has done to your generation or for your generation.
I do think that TikTok has a really big influence on how people are today. Because I feel like a lot of like aesthetics or like a lot of things, like some of that stuff was just like when I was younger, some of that stuff was weird. Like I feel like a lot of stuff that people be like, oh, it's so cool, it's cool. Like, yeah, it's cool, but you know, if you said somebody wearing that when we was younger, you going on, that's weird. That's a little weird, you know? But I feel like it's just like I feel like TikTok is helping and being more accepted too, because it's making it like it only gives you an option. Either you're gonna be accepting of it or you're just gonna be one of the haters. There's no between. You either gonna be a hater or you're gonna be accepted. And I just feel like TikTok has a really big influence on us as culture, like us as people.
So it's really a defining line. I gotta get on TikTok now that you have said this. So it's a defining line between the haters and the likes.
That's what I mean.
Really?
Okay. Literally, in the comments, I can go on something, you'll literally be like, it could be like, even now, like, it could be something bad. It's someone talking about somebody, and then you got people in the comments like, oh, well, that's not what I, you know, like, people like, oh, they're not agreeing with it. And some people like, you're real. That's so real. Repost. You know, just stuff like that. Like, you know, it's little thing, like, it's just little people going back and forth about whether they agree with it, whether they don't. Like, especially like with relationship stuff, friendships, all this stuff. And it has to do with people like you as a person, your morals, it will always be right. Just whether you're a hater or you're a great. So true.
Okay.
I feel like
now, have you used that to get your point across? I mean, have you just, you know, have a disagreement with somebody, whether it's a girl, whether it's a guy, and you go and turn to TikTok and go blasting them or whatever? You've done that before?
It's different because I'm not TikTok famous. That's not the thing. As much as people want to say famous people are regular people, they are, but they're not held in the same pedestal. I'm not a famous person, so me going on TikTok and being like, oh, well, he did this, that, and the third, and telling the whole story time is different from, like, say, Rihanna going and telling, say, A$AP did the same thing. Of course, people are going to hold her to a higher pedestal for Rihanna. There's going to be like, girl, same for me. Realistically, you the same stuff everybody goes through. People be like, the boy did this, that, third. Oh, he talking to me, talking to her. Other people be like, girl, I would have, people would either agree or disagree. But realistically, I feel like when it comes to people like my age, I feel like they're going to agree with me. Then like, I stay too. Hashtag stay until you don't, until you hate them. That's exactly how people stay until you hate them. Are you serious?
Yes.
This is just
I mean, it's in our generation too. I mean, I don't think, see, our generation, we just wouldn't put the shit out in the public. I mean, some of my generation just would kind of err on the side of not putting it out in public, but they would stay. I mean, they would do the same thing. They probably would do it with their friends, but they wouldn't definitely post it. What positive influences though has social media been for you?
I feel like when it comes to kind of, I will say, I feel like that's some of the stuff I see on social media is actually very helpful. Like, with like healthcare and it's telling us things like, you know, like when you're giving birth, like your rights and what you are allowed to do, what you aren't allowed to do. I feel like it does give, I do feel like it does give good advice for women, especially younger women. Like, certain like abortion and different things. Like, I feel like there's a lot of, I can actually just like abortion, most actually different things on TikTok where people give information where it could be like, you can get an abortion for free if you don't have the funds. You can like, there's things like, I feel like there's a lot of things for a person that can.
For education.
Yeah, for education, especially something that you won't, the doctors won't tell you, or you don't let it feel like you have the mouth to say it when you feel like you're not as important. You know what I mean? Because like, I would see stuff like, oh, when you're running, you don't have to lay on your back, you don't have to do this, you can do it at home, you can do this, but a lot of people think they can only do it one way.
That's true. You think that, and I'm curious because I do think right now with politics, you know, Roe versus Wade being overturned, that puts a lot of spotlight on abortion, right? Pros and cons. I think in my generation, you really had one source that gave you some type of education, and that was Planned Parenthood. Without Planned Parenthood, and you had to walk to those centers, right? You had to either take the bus, walk to the center. Wasn't a lot of internet. There was no internet in my day. And so you really didn't get a lot of the information. And I'm glad you're saying that the internet is giving you kind of that I could go Google and figure out what's going on in my area versus waiting and not having any information or getting misinformation. How does it affect your generation in politics? Talk to me about politics. Are you guys, this is an election year. We got two people who are pretty polar opposites, but also you got two individuals that are senior individuals running for president. How does the internet affect your generation, or how does it affect politics and your generation?
I feel like the social media does have a big impact on like who you would vote for, who you would lean towards. And it's then like, I feel like, especially like with who you follow or the people that you tend to communicate with on the regular, like people you follow, like really the people you follow, I feel like that'll have a really big impact on your political view, especially if you don't have a good backbone. I feel like realistically, if you don't have a good backbone for anything, you're going to be easily persuaded. But I will say, back to politics stuff, I don't really understand that's bad for me. I should do more into it, but I don't know so much because I feel like it's very stressful. I feel like where I live, I feel like it really is stressful because like I feel like there's like only a few right answers out here, so I don't know because I feel like I live in like a very a rural area. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like
it's different than when you grew up, right?
That's how I was trying to figure out. Like, it's just different from what I'm used to. Like, yeah.
But your voting age, right? Have you voted yet?
No.
Have you voted in any elections? So this is going to be your first election, presidential election, right?
Yeah, that sounds like.
Are you excited?
I feel this because I felt like wrong decision. But I feel like realistically, when it comes to politics, two is never really a better answer. I feel like one's just better at one thing than the other, but they all have their flaws, no matter what. Because I mean, everyone is human, but I do genuinely feel like there's not really like better, best selection. It's just who could be better than that. Who's better than that guy? Who's better than that one? It's just like that because they're all faulty. They all have fault. Like, especially with the past ones, like, especially I just like with the past ones, like, that's like, I don't know if it's always been like that, but I feel like past years, like, with Donald Trump, Biden, like, with Hillary Clinton, I feel like those elections were very, very, I feel like it caused a lot of drama. I don't know if it's always been like that, but I feel like maybe if I was older, I noticed it more, but I feel like it did cause a lot more drama. It is, like, so much, because it's like, they didn't know who, like, first female president, and then they're like, Trump's racist, he's sexist, he's this, and they're like, well, she did this. I see something said Hillary Clinton was eating babies. I'm like, well, who do you vote for now? She's eating babies, she's racist. Like, I don't know anymore. Who's worse?
No, I can say, having grown up and voted in the last, several elections, at least the last 8, it is more divisive now. You hit it right on the nail. I mean, it is more divisive now than anything. I remember you would be proud to walk with no security, with no anything, to a polling booth, which was my school, down the street, cast your ballot, get your little sticker, I voted, and walk away. And I remember that when we were going through Obama's, it was that, pride that, he's black. But to see the hatred at some of the polling stations with the opposite, it was shocking. It was shocking. So, yeah, I can definitely tell you have gotten your first vote is inside of some controversy, which is what, here's the thing. You got two different parties, got two different things. And I think you said it perfectly. All of them are flawed. There's not one party that is better or reigns supreme than the other. They both have some good views and they both have some flawed views. Exactly. And they need to figure out how to coalesce and get along. But I think that part has been absent in multiple years. And I don't think, it's going to get any better in the next year or so, especially this election. So tell me how do you view the next 10 years? What do you think we'll be at when you turn 30? Where do you think this country will be? And then where will you be? Where do you see yourself?
In the next 30 years, I really just want to make financially stable for myself. Honestly, I know this would sound bad. I don't care about what everyone else is going to be doing in 10 years because it will have a little bit of effect on me, but I really just worry about. I just not want to be financially stable, at least be able to make tricks, have my money right, be where I want to be with my career. I'm not like I want to do it. I want to do more trick stuff, whether it's like mortuary, whether it's a morgue in a hospital or actual ward with, whatever it is, I want to do something along the line of that. I just want to make sure.
Mortuary science?
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm straightforward. I want to do what I'm doing. And honestly, I just think the worst. I don't know. I kind of be scared.
No, but here's the thing. In the airplane, they say, put your mask on before you help someone else. That's the same thing you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. You got to take care of yourself. Everything around you is ancillary. You need to make sure you're okay so you can breathe and help others after the fact. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
ain't nothing wrong with that. You mentioned the LGBTQ. I don't have any hate for anyone, but I'm a little confused on how to be respectful, right? And who's who and what's the plurals, and it's sensitive. So let's talk about pronouns first and foremost. So tell me a little bit about how these have come around, because what's so fascinating is when we talked before is you guys understand it. You get it. You know it. How did you even get it? Because I must have missed the whole entire chapter. What happened?
And I just felt like that comes with the acceptance thing. Honestly, I feel like that just comes with the acceptance thing. Because I just feel like it could have done that. I feel like it came lower a little bit. Like the Nathan thing. Honestly, the Nathan thing, that one was cool. And it's not, I feel like that's not as bad. But I applied for one, so I'm getting a job there. And then it was like multiple bosses, like, push your pronouns. You didn't just say she, her, they, them, he, him. It was like a word that started with Z, like multiple. And I was like, I didn't even know, but you know what? I know what I am. So I just took it. Down myself. She, her. Okay. Yeah, I just feel like that's just what it is. Like, I do sometimes, with that, I do feel like sometimes people do get a little bit too entitled with it too, because it's they, them, but also sometimes people need to remember, it's not even a judge, it's just like into the past thing, like, you're not going to know off work that someone did. That's just not, none of us were necessarily raised that way. But maybe the ones that are growing up now, you're going to be like, oh, well, what's your pronouns? Maybe when they ask people. But I feel like that's something we've had to embed in our heads, like, oh, what are your pronouns? Like, you're not just automatically just going to be like, oh, they're they. You don't just, it doesn't just automatically come to your head, unless.
Have you ever offended someone because you didn't say it?
Well, I have a trans cousin, so I offend him. So, and this is from I'm saying limited, but like he girls transitions to a boy, and the rest of my family still call him a her, but and they still call him his dead name. But the younger ones, like the ones around his age, basically the Gen Zs, we all call him his, when we call him all that. But it's just like, he gets really upset when we mess up. Because sometimes when you talk about, I'm like, oh yeah, it's your cousin, she's short of that. And he'd be like, who? Because it's just but when Hansi called you that yesterday, you answered. Anything to her. Like somewhere, that's why I told myself, you get to a title with certain things, because it's like, I'm not doing it to offend you, and you don't not. Even if people will that. Sometimes people do have that intention to offend you, and you can feel that when someone is purposely trying to.
Yeah, you can't.
But all the time, when someone is when someone is misgendering you or calling you a pronoun, it is not intentional. If you're confused, honestly, because if it's a confusing thing, it is confusing. Because I grew up with calling you what you were, and I'm trying to alter it for you, but you can't get. Of course, I'm gonna slip up because it keeps changing. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, and I feel like there's one too. Like people, it takes time to find themselves. They don't realize you go through so many phases on your way to find yourself. There's other people around you. We're just accepting it. But you have to give us time to understand it too. You're moving too fast sometimes. Like, oh, you want to change your name? Okay. I don't think I would try to do that, but you just changed it again. You just changed it last week. You can't do that again. You're resting on my brain. I just altered it. I put it in my brain that God was your name. And you changed it again. That's not fair. You can't. I feel like you can't. Like you just gotta work with people. You gotta work with who you work with. Like that's just what.
I think you gotta give grace and give some forgiveness, because it is tough. It is tough. What is they, them is a singular person? Is
Yeah.
that singular? That is. Okay. Is that the pronouns for transgender? I guess I'm just, no.
So, and that's confusing too. So like, so for some transgender, like my cousin, he's a they, him, whether he, them, I believe that's what it is. But then there's others that are just they, them. And it's just, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to research that for our next go around.
Y'all ask my cousin, because I feel like my cousin will have some, since he's in that position, because I was trying to ask him. So I'm like, I don't want to sound ignorant, but like, so you know, then I feel like sometimes with the trans community, like sometimes they see very ignorant things about women, about like cis women. Like, you know, like I've never had to call myself a cis woman until it became like that big of a deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, are you trans woman or are you cis? And then they're like, oh, well,
Okay, what's a cis woman? I've never heard that.
we're born a woman.
Born
So
a woman. Okay, so I'm a cis woman.
Yeah, cis woman.
Okay, I never heard that. Okay, and so they asked, "Are you a cis woman?"
Yeah, they ask her like, if I mean, honestly, I don't think a lot of people ask. It's just like he would. I don't even get that question often, but like I feel like it's asked. Or like it's more like
If you're confused and don't know what to say.
Because it's, or something like that. Because I've never really had to ask someone that question. I just kind of, I don't try to ask people those questions. I just float around until I figure out what it is, so I don't seem rude.
No,
Like,
that's good. I'm you. I'm you.
Yeah,
I wait to hear what
everyone-
others say. Sometimes
because
I'll just wait to see.
And then sometimes you just gotta ask, like I'm a little bit confused. Sometimes you gotta be okay, so what is it? That's the one time I just had to ask. I was like, so then do you not want me to call you girl? Like, what do you want us to be just so I don't mess up? Like, I asked him one time, I was like, do you really want me to call you so I'm not making you feel no type of way? Because I'm not trying to make you feel that way. That's just how I talk. Like, oh, I call everybody girl, call people that I say, that's just how I talk. But I don't want you to feel like I'm doing that to you on purpose. So, you know what I mean? Like, oh, but some people are like, oh, it's cool. I ain't taking offense to people. Some people are like, no, don't call me that. Just depends on other things.
I think I've learned a little bit more. I know I've definitely got a lot more to go. And I think, it's all about, you mentioned it at the beginning, it's acceptance. And I think our generation has to be more tolerant, for sure, on asking the question and being polite as you ask the question so you're not offending anyone. But this question I'm going to talk to you about now is dating. There you go, smiling again. So dating in your generation seems to be, well, first we're going to talk about dating, and then we're going to talk about marriage. Do you guys even see marriage, want marriage, your generation in general? You hang around your friends and the girls, you mentioned something to me last week when we talked, you was like, Twyla, we just vibing. What the hell is vibing? What does that mean? What does that mean in the dating vibe? What does it mean?
And all this is about, in my opinion, I feel like lying is something that people use when they're not ready to be in a committed relationship, but they want to do committed relationship things. Like that's
friends with benefits.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like we're understood. Like, oh, we know who we are. And, that's all that matters. But that's just because a lot of people, that's why a lot of people have like either attachment issues or abandonment issues or something along that where they just feel like they need to have somebody or they want to have somebody. When in reality, you don't, but it's just that feeling that you want it. You want to have that. You see everybody else having it. Because social media, again, has a big impact there. You see people on social media, all they're seeing is the good sides. You're not seeing more bad sides. You're seeing what they have. You're seeing people have dressed up for proms. You're seeing that. You want that. So, of course, you're going to stick around with someone that doesn't want to be with you. They just want to be around you. They like how you are as a person. They're not ready for commitment.
So vibing is just, it can be just friends, right? You can vibe without sex, or you have to have sex when you vibe.
I took to each his own thing, I feel like.
Oh, okay. But so you can vibe and have sex, and you can vibe and not have sex.
Yeah.
All right. So vibing is the thing. Is commitment still important to your generation? Like a committed relationship?
But it is. Like, honestly, people want to act like it's fun to, like, not be in a relationship or so one after one to cheat. But it's really not fun. Like, honestly, like, I noticed, like, what is it, like, people sound like people listen to the city girls, and these people rapping. These people have husbands, people have wives, they're married kids. They're just rapping because they know this is really going to sell. Like, yeah, he said FFB word, but he didn't mean it. He loves her. He loves her. It's not going anywhere. I just think that's what, like, I don't know. I just feel like everyone sees what everyone else is doing and they think that that's fun, but it's not. And now it's all findings that want to just mess around.
Well, and I think again, social media, right? It plays into it. How important is it to get likes on these channels? Is it more important to get likes in the social media aspect, or to have like a core group of friends that is your ride or die, your road dogs? Which one is more important to your generation?
But I would say the likes. And in my opinion, I feel like people care more about what everyone else thinks. Like,
even though you might not ever meet everyone else. Wow. Now that's tough. I mean, that has to put some pressure on you as a beautiful young woman. That's a lot of pressure, because when you succumb to those who like, then you have the haters who don't like. What happens when those haters are more stronger than those likes? That's when you get that depression, that funk. I mean, you've had people commit suicide because of the internet. I mean, it can be a dangerous slope. You agree?
Yeah, I'm in.
There.
Yeah, it is for. Actually, it's just, that's why I feel like sometimes people like, oh, they're making the wrong people famous. But I just feel like, from what we're looking at, it seems like they are, because they're not built for it to do it. Most like they are. Because I know I'm not built to tell us no they're doing. Like, I don't know, like, it's just because even, like, I don't know if any of it was true, but, you know, like, oh, like, social media just has such a big impact. Like, all the Illuminati stuff, all that other stuff, like, just has such a big impact. Like, they like, oh, they made the wrong person famous, but, like, all that stuff with Diddy. Who's the Diddy? I mean, Diddy is not a big deal. But who's even know what Diddy is not a big deal? Because it wasn't going to be Diddy. Who was it going to be? Like,
Lord
they say
Jesus.
that, but who's doing that stuff? And they don't realize that, like, I don't know, they think people that are, I don't think that famous people are so high enough to make their so many years, and so realistically, they even say things worse than they did more of it too.
Well, and they have money to defend the craziness. See, a regular old Joe don't have the cash to defend, you know. And remember, back in the day, the Diddy and the Meek Mills, all of those things was prior to an internet, prior to a phone. I mean, they probably got over the last 15 years some footage from cell phones, but Diddy go back a whole long way than 15 years, right? Diddy go back a whole long way, and I'm sure there's past and people in that past, there ain't no footage. And so it will be my word, his word, you know, they word. So the social media is a dangerous slope. And it can ruin lives just like that. In a snap of a button, in a snap of your fingers, people's lives can be ruined. I mean, it's similar to the cancel culture. In
the Twyla Zone, we dive into the multifaceted layers of life, business, and beyond through candid conversations, thought-provoking interviews, and personal reflections. We uncover the stories of empowerment, triumph, and growth that shape our world. So whether you're seeking inspiration, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, welcome to the Twyla Zone podcast, where empowerment meets transformation, and every story has the potential to ignite change. Let's embark on this journey together. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
Do you ever detox from social media? And if so, how long have you been off of it?
So my one phone, I have two phones, like the window, like one's not on. My one phone doesn't have enough storage, so all I have on there is like TikTok. I don't have like Instagram or any of the other stuff. And then on my other one that doesn't have service, it has like Instagram and all the other stuff on it. So if I don't ever have my phone, if I'm seeing where it doesn't have Wi-Fi or arcade, if it's dead, I just don't. I don't deal with it.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel? What if you couldn't use social media for a week?
Honestly, I wouldn't. TikTok too.
TikTok too. Yes. No scrolling. No, I don't know you. I'm going to just look at TikTok until I know you.
I mean, I've done that before. I can do it. It's just I don't like to do it. That's just what it is. Because I get to see if I can do it. Like, I would delete all the apps and just color, like reading books and stuff.
How long?
I just like a week. But I got Instagram about that for, not Instagram. I got TikTok about that for like a week, but I deleted Instagram for like 3 weeks. Instagram to me isn't that important. Then I feel like Honestly, too, I feel like when you follow people and you follow people that you grew up around, people that you all know from the same area, that is, you're never gonna really get further yourself in that type of like platform. So I just don't be on it because all I do is follow people that I used to be cool with when I was like 13, 12. They still think of me like that way. They're still holding on to that. But realistically, I don't act like that anymore. I'm not that person. So it's just like, there's no point to even. That's why I don't post like that because it's like, oh, like y'all stuff that you might be like, one, that's just, like, I don't know. I just went that's for plates. TikTok, I don't even be on TikTok.
So with TikTok, you can just like, is that what you do on TikTok? You just like or forward?
You can like and repost stuff. And you know, I can post stuff and then they have like a story button. You can have repost stuff on your actual reposting, or you can put it on like your story. I was having to put it on my stories, you know. And then you can text on TikTok too when you can go live. It's kind of like pinning the chat. Everybody says it's kind of like Instagram, but I feel like it's not. It's like at some point when it gets to be here at some longer, longer. I do think it's fun that I try to Instagram like do it like it, start treating it the same way. But I do think, I don't know, I just think TikTok is like, I don't know, is this the signs or like the signs on it? I don't know. I just feel like it has more of like a free creative space. And like there's more of a group of people. You get to see other people. You don't just see the same people. And even if
have you met anybody off the internet? How is because people use it to date now, right? Yeah, are they dating off the internet? Or the app?
I haven't met people off like Instagram stuff, but like not people I haven't known. Because that's what I'm saying. Like it takes like I've had the same accounts for a long time. So now the people I have on Instagram I've had on there for like 4 years. So it's been like I've been following people. So it's not like they're basically strangers, but they're not like complete strangers. Like really are strangers to show and see what they let you see. But it's like I still have an idea of what I'm going to kind of get myself into. Like, oh, I've been following this like 3 years. I see, but it's not like that. I don't really talk. I don't talk to many people. It's not me.
Now, have you ever been catfished?
I don't think so. I hope really? I do think there's like one page that I'm trying to catfish you, but I didn't really sense that.
I get these strange people that all these handsome dudes is in my DMs talking to me. And I know it's probably catfish because probably behind it is going to be, hey, baby, send me $20,000 or some craziness. But I'm just curious because I watched the show Catfish and you see all the time, okay, somebody slid into my DMs. They hit them up, they did this, and all of a sudden they found out that, you know, Joe was Joette. Have you known of anybody that's gotten catfished?
I mean, when I was younger, I had a catfish somebody. That was literally just for fun.
You did? You catfished somebody?
It was on purpose though. Like, I found some.
Okay, I know.
But it wasn't because I wanted to deal with it. It wasn't like I catfished him because I wanted to deal with it. I catfished him just so I could manipulate him. That's all it was. And I thought the other brand catfished the way too. She did with me with him. That one was funny. He thought it was her, and it was her house. I feel like it doesn't take me to fight. Like, I feel like we should probably go video call, maybe video call camera. It's very good to do a video call with Karen Law's flyers and really not. And I don't know how people use catfish. I wouldn't always do that.
You wouldn't talk to somebody for months and you've never talked to them or seen them. Exactly. That's what I look at these shows and I see they sending money and they overseas and they never seen them. And I'm floored. I'm like, who would do that? But I guess here's the thing. I mean, in my generation, it was kind of like, listen, you got to get married. You got to have the husband. I didn't. I strayed away from the whole entire thing because I was the business person. But now I'm looking for that person. Dating is tough now, right? I mean, where do you guys find your generation? Where does the Gen Zs go to date and to find each other?
Well, I was informed I don't have good taste in guys. So I don't think I'm good on this answer.
Wait a minute. You were informed that you don't have good taste.
Yeah, they said that I pick like this the common gratitude, but that's what they say. Well,
that's true.
Yeah, I don't choose. But it's, because that's what I'm saying. I honestly talk to people that like I've known, even if we weren't friends, like I've known them for a while. Like I'm just that's why when I need letting people. Like I met somebody, one of my friends did this. We were at a gas station. And I was like, "Why is that?" She was like, "Who is that? I've never seen him." I was like, "I don't know." She started honking the horn at him and was whistling. And that's how she got his attention. She was literally honking the horn. She was like, "Come here." And claiming dinner now and leave him over. That's a way. That's really me.
She get the number? She get the digits?
Oh, you? She does. Yeah, I read stuff. She did.
Oh, she did it for you. Lord have mercy. So she hung. You didn't even. Lord, Nina.
I ain't good.
So do you guys even know how to approach each other? Because y'all so into the phone.
Yeah, I've done it before. Like I can. I feel like anybody. Okay, I can't say anybody can do it. Like I just said, maybe it's how you are as a person, because like in the scenery you are, like if you go somewhere or like say you go out, see I don't like to like go out to really big parties. I don't like to do all that. So if I do, I like to approach somebody in an environment I'm not comfortable with. So like even if I saw somebody I would never do that. So like say like we were in Ocean City, we were just walking, so we walking, this is little boy, we saw us walking. That's different. I can do something like that, but I can't do that. It's a really big party, like I don't know, like in big areas, or like I just have to be in an environment where I feel comfortable with myself, or I be with someone that I feel comfortable with. Because not every girl or not every guy that you hang out with is someone that you want to try to talk to someone with, because some people have keeping it well. So it's like not every time. I feel like that's also that's a big influence on relationships too. See, they're in the see from like friends, especially even on the boys side, like DL boys, when they actually like their friends, and then they hide in it like they're just friends, but they're not. I don't know. I just like
Yeah, we used to have that too. I mean, you go to a party and your girl be like, "Oh, I don't like him," and then you start talking to him, and they freaking out like, "What the hell, Twyla? That was my man." I'm like, you didn't tell me that? I didn't know.
That's another thing. I feel like a big measurement, like especially I don't know about everybody, but I don't do this. Like Debbie, everybody know ridiculous. It's no way. Like even if you think like literally, I thought well, he's talking on some toe. That's not just that some person like on you like she used to be for everybody. I don't even know who his friend is. I didn't know me.
Right.
I had no idea who his friends are, but all of them know me, and I have no idea who they are. They all know me. So that's what I'm like. It's just like people, I don't say everyone mess with everyone, but it's kind of some of that lines and people take things to the heart. So like say a boy that I just said the heart out and she ain't giving no attention. I ain't talking to him. She gonna be like, "Oh, this young man was in my dad's. Oh, now you got a girlfriend. Now it was this, but it's like, what did you want him to do? What was it supposed to be? If he's gonna sit here and keep chasing after you and you had someone else?" That's what I feel like a lot of it is too. Like that's a lot of things. Like we were 14, we were like 12 years old. You dated him, we were at 7th grade. We're 18. You're mad that I'm gonna date him now? I don't know. That sounds a little off.
That does. That does. What does?
Real 2004, like real years. My shop had me post. Little boy was so bad, but she was like, I talked to him in 7th grade. Even now, I started talking to him first in 7th grade. But why does it matter? We're 18. You're 18. When I was like, we're 18. It shouldn't even matter no more.
Right. Well, that's the maturity. I mean, as you get older, I can tell you this, and I've talked to a lot of my girlfriends, and I'll tell you the same wisdom says, as you get older, Nina, your view and what you want in a mate is clearly going to change. And it changes every decade. Your 20s is a different than your 30s, and your 30s might be different than your 40s, and your 50s is, for me, it's changed for the better. Because I used to be, I want a little thug, a little roughneck. I ain't trying to have that type of drama in my life now. So, but back in the day, if you had caught me in your age, girl, I was on top of somebody's motorcycle with a bathing suit on, doing my thing. Ain't happening. Ain't happening now. But I say that because as you start getting into your career and in your business and start dating, think about what you want that mate to be like, and visualize that mate. I'm a strong proponent of visualization. And when you visualize your career, visualize your future, put the best possible mate in that picture and in that frame and keep praying and thinking about that vision, and it will come. It will come. So 10 years from now, you say you want to have, because we're about to wrap up, 10 years from now, you say you want to be in your mortuary science career booming, whether you're in a hospital or at a morgue or at a mortuary. What's your plan? Tell me your next. Have you broken this down into 12 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? What's the plan? When we interview you in 6 months, tell me where you're going to be.
So me and a friend did a vision board the other day to do all that.
Oh, cool. I would love to see it.
Yeah, so I'm studying New York at law just so I can have like a little bit extra income and stuff. So once I'm trying to figure out what that set schedule is going to be like so I can make sure my school schedule can be aligned up with it. That's just so I can let people know. So I'm not a solicitor. I started basically literally hopefully like 2 days. I just finished.
Okay, good.
So like once I do that, I know once I figure out just how my schedule is going to be, I'm going to get my school stuff together. Because I know my mom, we're just going to start at CSM just so I can be easier. So I won't have to go all the way to DC. Or like, honestly, I don't think I'll be able to online classes. No one wants me to do it, but I know for a fact I'm not going to be good at online classes.
Yeah, you got to have the discipline. If you don't have that,
I'm not going to have that. I feel if I would build up to that way, I would have to actually go and see what it would be like for myself in person first anyways. So I'm just going to get the CSM stuff started. And then once I do that, that's what I want to. I want to honestly, once I get myself together with the college stuff, I feel like that'll really get me straight on my pedestal. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I'm just like not doing enough, but then also I remember that I am 19, but it is like I have to do enough. I don't know. Yeah, it's always a lot.
Well, you got to put a plan. The big thing, I love the fact that you did your vision board. You got to have a plan. And then what you got to do is you got to break that plan out into literally small goals that you can accomplish every month. Because this is where you fail. People do this with weight loss. You did amazing with your weight loss. I mean, you got to break it out, right? You got to see. And then when you start seeing wins and hits, Nina, you're just going to take off. You just got to be able to sit down and say, okay, I got mine down. Here's my schedule. Let me take a couple courses. And I would, if I was you, go to 2 or 3 morticians in your area, even in the country, and say, hey, can I volunteer on Saturday? Or can I volunteer on Friday? Just so you can know this is what you want to do. Because what you don't want to do is go all the way down that line. You turn 25, 26, and you're like, this is not what I want to do. You know, this is not the field that I want to be in. So test it out. Go in. And right now, everybody needs help. There's no one that is short of not having their jobs, help wanted sign on the door. So go and say, hey, listen, can I volunteer 5 hours a week just so I can understand everything that happens in this mortuary or even in the hospital? Even better in a hospital, because that's going to get you probably a greater, job access and benefits quick. In 6 months, we're going to see you get your schedule together. We're going to get you in class. In a year, what do you see yourself?
The year, I feel like I should at least actually into not talking about it, actually doing it. Like actually have my courses, like actually be doing it and finally be doing it for a little minute, not just, not like I said, not just talking about it. But honestly, hopefully the car fixed all the way.
Car fixed? What about an apartment? You want your own place?
Yeah, I want to get my own apartment. It's just literally just that I just don't, because I've been car sleep. I gotta rub it sometimes first.
I've heard. You gotta put a little love on it. You gotta put a little love on it.
Oh, I was on Richie Marlboro and I was like, it just cut off. And it was like in the middle of the day and it cut off. So I tried to try it. The wheel locked. Oh, I almost hit the car. No. I was petrified. I was scared. I was like, oh, I live here, guys. And then it's like 5 minutes for it to start back up. I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, Nina, I know you're going to do phenomenal. The car will fix itself. Actually, save up some money and get you another one. That's probably going to be the better scenario. And then I think in 12 months, we'll see you full-fledged into either in both learning and figuring out the career choice, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have you back here in 6 months so we can get an update on Nina, update on dating, update on Gen Z. In 6 months, we'll be right around either past elections or right close to elections. Let's talk about them. Let's see. And then I want you to pick one of your friends to come on with you because I want to see some collaboration. So pick a friend that's going to come on with you so you guys can have a round table with some of my friends. I'm going to bring a couple friends that are in my space, each generation, so we can have a sit down.
Okay, that feels fun.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you, Nina. Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming on today. I want to say the Twilight Zone is here. We're here to motivate. We're here to educate. And we're just really here to make sure that entrepreneurs realize that we got to be able to understand all forms and facets, including that Gen Z. For another round, thank you again for the Twilight Zone podcast. And thank you again, Nina Turner, for being part of that. Nina, how do they reach you on your social media?
My Instagram is Nini's, NINIIQI's, Dawn. And that's my Instagram. And then my TikTok is the same thing. And I have 2 TikToks. But one that's easier though is Stop Coffee Virgo. Yeah, all of it.
Stop Pocket Virgo. Okay. Stop Pocket Virgo. All right, guys. Please follow her. Give her advice about mortuary science. Let her know that you guys are in there to support her. And I look to talk to you guys again. Thank you so much. Nina, have a wonderful one. I'll talk to you soon.
See you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Twilight Zone podcast. We hope you found inspiration, insight, and a renewed sense of empowerment. Don't forget to subscribe to the Twilight Zone on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a story to share, a topic you'd like to explore, or simply want to connect, we'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more empowering episodes coming your way. Until next time, embrace your journey, embrace your power, and remember, you are capable of incredible things. Take care and keep shining.